Do you struggle with cable management? Or do you have a dangling mess of USB cables and adapters? Or are you simply trying to find a way to simplify your desk setup? Trust me, my friend, I've been there. And you are in the right place because we're about to come up with a DIY cardboard solution that is just right for you. The first thing you need to do is get a USB hub for your computer that you can plug in so you can get all of the cables nicely organized. Now, instead of just gluing this or taping it to something, you can build a nice cardboard mount for the USB hub so that it's also removable in case you ever want to take it with you somewhere. The first step in that is to trace out the hub onto a piece of paper so that you have a life-size reference, and then I also marked where all of the ports on the hub were. After that, I decided what kinds of cardboard I wanted to use on the project, so there's a little bit of double layer cardboard along the bottom of the hub holder down here, and then some thinner ones in the corner so that it can mount on the bottom of my laptop stand. You also want to be paying attention to which way you mount your hub so that you get the cables and the ports going the directions that you want. I just want to jump in here and say this video is not just for mounting USB hubs, it's for anything around your workspace that would be more organized if you mounted it. Maybe it's like a smart speaker, maybe it's your cell phone, maybe it's like a pen holder. You're going to learn the steps that you need to build that project successfully and implement it the right way. But now let's jump back into the video. Then you want to think about the corrugation of the cardboard because it's easier to fold in some directions than others. So on here, I have all the corrugation going up and down in these little corner pieces. Then you can add dimensions to the project so that everything fits around your hub nicely. And if you want it to be a nice snug fit, you can always add little bits of foam or tape to the inside to get a tighter fit on that hub later. And when you're making dimensions, you want to make sure you're paying attention to how thick the cardboard is that you're using. I designed mine symmetrically for simplicity and used only straight lines in everything so that I could cut it out with just scissors. My design does not have a top because, like I said, it's going to glue to the bottom of my laptop stand, which I made a whole series of live videos doing the entire build. You can check that playlist out right here. But you might want to put a top on yours and maybe like command strip it to the bottom of your desk. Now, please don't fear all of this design work. It will help you a lot as you move forward in the build process and ensure that you take the best path for success. But planning isn't the only thing you need to do to make your projects work well. I've simplified this all down into a little framework that you can grab with the link in the description below, and that's going to help you build your best projects every time. It's totally free. I'm not making any money. I just have a heart for helping people who want to make projects like you. Step number 2 is to build it. Now, when I build things, I like to start with the base and then follow a plan that I've made for each next step that I'm gonna do. Well, I kind of just brute forced my way through making a rough cut of the area that I would need, and I used the corner of a box right over here so that I would have the machined, the factory edges here, and I wouldn't have to deal with cutting those. I've just got these two edges to deal with and cut out. I want to keep this piece in the middle. So I'm cutting out these little tabs of cardboard. They're going to be these sections here, and I had to change the direction of the corrugation because in this image I drew it and it looks wider than it is tall, but after all of our designing, it's actually going to end up being taller than it is wide, and I wanted as many of these flutes going through it as possible so that the cardboard piece didn't just fall apart after I cut it. It would have been better to find a cardboard piece, a type of cardboard that had smaller fluting, so that I got more flutes instead of just like 3 that I have here. It would be good to have more than that. But I don't have any smaller cardboard. Another alternative would be to use a cereal box type cardboard, and this would work pretty well, but it'd be hard to glue it to the bottom of my computer stand because this edge is so thin, and so these are going to be sticking up. They'll be a little bit wider and easier to glue onto things. I've got this piece glued on here now. You can see I kept my nice side on the outside because that's the part people are going to see. This side's a little bit more ugly, so I put it on the inside of this base plate. Then in here, I glued my cardboard to the side, and then also added this bead of hot glue along the inside to reinforce it a little bit more. To make the corner tabs, I cut one out and then made sure it was the right size. I folded it around the corner, and then traced it to make another one that was exactly the same. I could have made this look nicer by combining it all into one piece, but doing it this way is a lot more forgiving. Once I have some of my pieces on, I want to test fit the hub inside to make sure it's all going well before I fully integrate the project. But hey, let me know in the comments below, what are you planning on mounting? It doesn't necessarily have to be for your computer, but are you using cardboard to mount anything around your house? Once I was ready, I glued the hub holder. As it turned out, I didn't mount it in quite the right spot. So I took a heat gun, remelted the hot glue that I had used to mount it, but I had to carefully avoid melting all of the hot glue on it. Then I could take it off and move it to a different spot, adding more hot glue to secure it. This method works pretty well, but it isn't perfect, and you're probably gonna have to clean up some hot glue once you're done. I made a couple micro adjustments to make the hub fit snugly just the way I wanted it, but if you wanna learn how to make a project perfectly with only scissors, then click or tap on this video right here, where I break down in detail all the techniques I learned and used while making this hub holder with just scissors. As always, I'm Eli, this is Maker Brain, and I pray that your cable management would go well. God bless you.